Welcome to Motorize.de, your go-to for new and used parts. Today we're diving into Kawasaki's VN900 Classic, factory code VN900B, on the market since 2006. We'll show where this midsize cruiser fits, highlight its strengths and weaknesses, and give you an honest buying recommendation. The 900 blends classic looks with modern tech, fuel injection, liquid cooling, and a quiet, low-maintenance belt drive. Specs: 903cc SOHC V-twin, bore stroke 88.0 by 74.2 millimeters, about 78 newton-meters at 3,500 RPM, 57 pound-feet, a 20-liter tank, 5.3 gal, a low 680 millimeter seat height, 26.8 in, and a 180/70/15 rear tire. Classic touches include tank-mounted gauges and a right-side dual-exit slash-cut exhaust. We'll cover who this bike suits, what to look for when buying, and which upgrades are worth it. History and development. In 2006, the VN900 Classic replaced the VN800, not a facelift, but a fresh start with more displacement and fuel injection. The Classic VN900B was the base model. Alongside it came the Classic LT VN900D with a tall touring screen, sissy bar, saddlebags, and auxiliary lights, and the custom VN900C with a 21-inch front wheel and a drag bar. Over the years, the colors, emission specs, and seats changed. The underlying cruiser stayed the same and is well documented. EU sales ended with Euro 4, while the lineup continued in North America. Core hardware remained constant. A liquid-cooled 903cc V-twin, SOHC, 4 valves, digital fuel injection with 34mm throttle bodies, a 5-speed gearbox, belt final drive, and a single 300mm front disc. The 20-liter tank defines the profile, with a hidden monoshock delivering that hardtail look. Beneath the bodywork, the Kawasaki VN900 Classic runs a liquid-cooled 903cc V-twin, SOHC, 4 valves per cylinder, bore and stroke 88.74.2 millimeters, 9.1 compression. Keihin fuel injection with 34mm throttle bodies and Kawasaki's secondary throttle plates delivers clean, immediate response. Roughly 50 horsepower and about 78 to 79 newton-meters come in nice and early. A 5-speed gearbox with a tall overdrive and a carbon fiber reinforced belt final drive keeps revs low. Up front is a 41mm telescopic fork. At the rear, a unitrack monoshock with preload adjustment. Braking is via single discs, 300mm front, 270mm rear, with twin piston calipers. Wire spoke wheels wear 130/90/16 rubber up front and 180/70/15 at the back. Wheelbase is 1,645 millimeters. Ready to ride? It's just over 280 kilograms with a 20-liter tank and real-world consumption of 4.8 to 5.5 less per 100 kilometers. Seat height is a low 680 millimeters. Design and ergonomics. The Classic nods to the big cruisers without being over the top. Deeply valanced fenders, plenty of chrome, and wire spoke wheels. The subtly integrated radiator fades into the background, while polished cooling fins accent the V-twin. The tank console houses an analog speedometer with an LCD window for clock, trip meter, and fuel level. Tasteful retro. Seat height stays at 680 millimeters. Vulcan 900 Classic, VN900B. The broad saddle supports the lower back, and the swept-back handlebar brings the rider into an easy, relaxed reach. Standard floorboards with a heel-toe shifter ease the strain on your joints, and the belt drive keeps the rear end clean. A hidden monoshock with adjustable preload preserves the hardtail line, and the 130/90/16 front and 180/70/15 rear setup fills the fenders with satisfying presence. In city traffic, the low center of gravity and 680mm seat height help. It's easier to maneuver than its roughly 280 kilograms would suggest. The 903C V-twin pulls cleanly from low revs. The tall-geared 5-speed keeps the engine relaxed, and the belt drive takes up smoothly. At country road pace, the Vulcan stays composed and low vibration, and the liquid cooling with its fan keeps temperatures in check in stop and go. The comfort-biased unitrack suspension irons out expansion joints nicely, though the floorboards touch down early when you lean. The single-disc brakes, 300mm front, 270mm rear, are easy to modulate, but ask for a firm hand. Without a fairing, wind pressure builds from about 100 km per hour. Add the accessory screen and it's ready to tour. With a 20-liter tank and modest thirst, 300+ kilometers between stops are realistic. Strengths and highlights. The Vulcan 900 Classic wins you over with solid underpinnings and an easygoing character. Its 903cc 55-degree V-twin pulls hard just off idle. The fuel injection is finely metered, and the belt drive is low maintenance and near silent. A long wheelbase and 180/70/15 rear tire deliver rock-steady straight-line stability, while the hidden rear shock keeps it tracking true. Everyday wins. A low seat, around 680 millimeters, relaxed ergonomics, and a clean, uncluttered look. If you like, opt for white walls or the factory LT Touring Kit with screen, bags, and sissy bar. Nice touch, the right side 2x2 exhaust with a harmonious, unobtrusive tone. Laid-back cruising without a neighborhood war. And with a 20-liter tank, you get stress-free miles with plenty of classic flair. Weak points and common issues. Kawasaki VN900 Classic 2006-2016. The belt drive is durable, but if tension or alignment is off, it can chirp, especially when wet. Setting it exactly to the manual also spares the rear pulley. From the factory, the fueling is lean. Below 2,500 RPM, you can get steady throttle surging. A fuel controller, e.g. Power Commander Vive or Cobra i 2000, smooths it out. Up front, there's only a single 300mm disc with a 2-piston floating caliper. The lever can feel spongy. Braided steel lines and sintered pads are worth it. In spirited lean, the floorboards touch down early. The 130/90/16 front and 180/70/15 rear tire sizes limit ground clearance. The Speedo often reads 8–10% high. With age, the alternator regulator connectors can develop high resistance. Clean them or solder the joints. The 41mm fork springs are soft and induce dive. Progressive springs and heavier fork oil help. Accessories and customization. The VN900 Classic is a great canvas for custom work. For touring, the LT OEM parts deliver. Tall screen, sissy bar, luggage rack, and neatly fitting stitched leather saddlebags. Plug and play. Comfort upgrades include wider touring seats, Mustang Corbin, and passenger floorboards. For looks, think white walls on the 180/70/15 rear, fender trim, and a light bar with auxiliary lamps. An engine guard adds protection and a solid mount for highway pegs. For more sound, go with slip-ons, Vance & Hines Cobra Shark, plus a high-flow air filter and tuned fueling. Stage 1 via fuel controller. Tech and handling mods. Stainless braided brake lines, progressive fork springs, and if you like, a subtle rear lowering kit. Ambitious builders swap in the custom C model's 21-inch front. Just be sure to check ABTV certification and tire rim approvals. Through it all, the 903cc belt drive V-twin remains fully long-distance capable. Market value and buying checklist. Well-kept classics typically go for $4,500 to $6,500. Low-mile LTSEs with accessories up to about €7,500. On the belt drive, look for sidewall cracks, unusual noises, proper belt tracking, and pitting on the pulley teeth. Check spokes for corrosion, rims for dings or bends, and radiator fins for stone damage. Make sure it tracks straight and the steering head bearings feel smooth while coasting slowly. Look for oil at the fork seals. Check for excessive brake lever travel and wear ridges on the discs, and feel for play in the rear wheel bearings. Measure charging voltage with the engine running, regulator connectors, and charging output with auxiliary loads switched on. On the test ride, watch for surging at steady throttle, floorboards touching down early, and correct clutch-free play. Model note, the LT runs the 1,699cc twin and 16-inch wire spoke wheels with whitewall tube-type tires. Pay extra attention to spoke tension and tire age. A solid service history and proper documentation for any modifications are definite pluses. Verdict and buying advice. Kawasaki's VN900 Classic is an honest cruiser for riders who savor the ride. Stout low-end punch, calm refinement, and a timeless look that never goes out of style. Its fuel-injected 903cc V-twin delivers about 78 Nm at 3,700 RPM. The belt drive and 20-liter tank make for relaxed, low-maintenance miles. On the plus side, a low 680mm seat height and comfy ergonomics. Downsides, the single 300mm front disc needs a firm pull, and the floorboards touch down early. High milers should go for the LT, windscreen, sissy bar, bags, or add accessories later. Braided stainless brake lines, sintered pads if needed, progressive fork springs are worthwhile upgrades. Recommendation: ideal for cruiser newcomers and riders crossing over who value torque, comfort, and style over peak power, and appreciate long-lasting engineering.